Good morning, students. Now let us see the chemical reactions of phenol. Yesterday we completed the chemical reactions of alcohols. Now, first reaction of phenol is the oxidation of phenol. Now we can do the oxidation with anhydrous chromic oxide or with acidified sodium dichromate, that is sodium dichromate in the presence of sulfuric acid. Now if we do this oxidation, this phenol is converted into the parabenzoquinone. Now this is the parabenzoquinone. Again, if we keep the phenol in air, in open, then it become dark, and there is the mixture of this benzoquinone and phenol is formed. But when we oxidize this phenol with the anhydrous chromic oxide or sodium dichromate in the presence of sulfuric acid, then it directly forms the parabenzoquinone. Now this is the parabenzoquinone. Now the para position, both para position, there is the oxygen atom. Now see the another chemical reaction of phenol is the catalytic hydrogenation of phenol. Now nickel, platinum, palladium, such catalysts are used for the hydrogenation or reduction of the phenol. But this powder nickel is used here. Now when we reduce or hydrogenate this phenol in the presence of catalyst nickel at the high temperature about 433 Kelvin, it directly forms the cyclohexanol. That means all these three, that is the double bond, are converted into the single bond. That means 6 hydrogens are added, 6 atoms of hydrogen and 3 molecules of hydrogen are added. For each double bond, there added 1 molecule of hydrogen, and all these 3 double bond are converted into the single bond because here hydrogens are added. In all the carbon atom, 1 hydrogen increased, and due to this that is the resonating this alternative single and double bond which is shown in the phenol directly converted into all the single bond. Now this is the cyclohexanol and this is the phenol, because this cyclohexanol have each carbon atom have two hydrogen atoms, and here this carbon have 1 hydrogen on that and 1 OH group. So this is the cyclohexanol. This is also that is the alcohol, but this is the we call as this alcohol is not the aliphatic chain like alcohol, but it is the cyclic alcohol. Now third reaction of phenol is again reduction of phenol. This is the hydrogenation, addition of hydrogen, and this is the reduction of the phenol. That means here removal of oxygen is the definition for the reduction here. Now here phenol is converted into benzene when we reduce this phenol in the presence of zinc dust and slightly somewhat heating it. This phenol is converted into the benzene. This OH group is replaced here, and there is again this hydrogen of the OH group get attached to this benzene ring here on this carbon, because the OH group is removed, but the hydrogen again attached to this, and this oxygen and this zinc from the byproduct zinc oxide. Now these are the chemical reactions of phenols. Now let us see the preparation of ethers. Preparation of ethers. This is the third organohydroxy compound. Ethers are the third that is the hydroxy compounds, and we already completed the 2 organohydroxy compounds, alcohols and phenols. We see their preparation, their chemical reaction, their physical properties, etc. And their classification. Now come to the preparation of ethers. The first method of preparation of ether is the dehydration of ether. That is here dehydration of alcohols, not ether, dehydration of alcohols. When we dehydrate the alcohol, we obtain the ethers. Now this is the ethanol, 2 molecules of ethanol is written here, and the dehydrating agent used here is the concentrated H2SO4, which remove the water molecule from the 2 molecules of this ethyl alcohol. Now water molecule get eliminated at the temperature about 413 Kelvin. But here two reactions happen at different temperature. If we increase the temperature up to 443 Kelvin, then this odd reaction is there. Now this ethanol gives, that is the ethene, at higher temperature. This is also the dehydration of alcohol reaction, but at higher temperature, and the dehydrating agent H2SO4, that is the sulfuric acid, is used here. Now in first reaction there is formation of ether, but the temperature must be low, about 413 Kelvin. Now after protonation of the one of the molecule of this alcohol that reacts with the another molecule of alcohol, and then there is the formation of this ethoxyethane. Now these two molecules C2H5, again another molecule of C2H5, one of the water molecule from that is eliminated in this way. Suppose C2H5OH is here, another molecule of C2, I write that molecule in this way, OH C2H5. Now this is also ethyl alcohol, that is also the ethyl alcohol molecule. From that the water molecule is eliminated in this way, H2O, and this C2H5 and this O-C2H5 form the ethoxyethane, and the byproduct is the water molecule, but less temperature is required. Here in this reaction, that is there is the elimination of water molecule from that of the ethyl alcohol. Now see how the reaction happen. Suppose this is ethyl alcohol, CH3, I write here this CH3 in this way, H, CH3, CH2 and OH. Now suppose this OH is here, this CH2. Now this is the ethanol, I write the ethanol in this way. Now due to the dehydrating agent at the higher temperature, water molecule gets eliminated. Now this that is the carbon have this hydrogen give here double bond, and at the same time this OH is removed. Now this OH and this hydrogen form the water molecule, and there is formation of this CH2, this CH2. Yes, this bond is already present. Now this hydrogen gives here bond, so it becomes double bond, and again the CH2. Now this is the ethene, that is the alkene, and byproduct water is formed in this way. Now this is the reaction at higher temperature. How ethene is obtained? From the adjacent carbon of this alcohol, or the carbon which have OH group, its neighboring carbon give the hydrogen, and the OH group on that carbon get removed, and this OH and H from the water, and here is the double bond. In this way ethene is formed. Now this is the first method of preparation of ether if we use the, or if we apply the less temperature about 413 Kelvin. So ethyl alcohol or any alcohol directly give the, that is the ether. The name of this ether which is obtained from this ethanol is the ethoxyethane. So symmetrical ethers are generally formed by this reaction, that is the dehydration of alcohol. Both of the alkyl groups of the ethers are similar, so this is the diethyl ether or ethoxyether. In this way we can prepare any symmetrical ether by using this method, but the condition is that temperature must be about 413 Kelvin. Now next reaction is the Williamson's synthesis. Next preparation method of ether is the Williamson synthesis. Now in Williamson synthesis, two different reactants are used. One is the alkyl halide. Suppose RX alkyl halide. Now this is the alkyl halide. This alkyl halide reacts with, that is the sodium alkoxide. Sodium alkoxide we obtain on reaction of, that is the alcohol with NaOH or sodium metal. Then we obtain the sodium alkoxide, because here this is the alkyl group and this NaO, so name is the sodium alkoxide, OR, alkoxide group. Suppose I write the sodium alkoxide in generally R dash, suppose here. Now this is the sodium alkoxide. Sodium alkoxide. When these two different reactants reacts, at that time what happened? This sodium and this halogen from sodium halide, and we obtain here the ether in this way, ROR dash. The ether may be symmetrical ether or it may be unsymmetrical ether. Unsymmetrical ethers are generally prepared by this method, Williamson synthesis, and here is the NaX as the byproduct. Now this is the general reaction. Now let us take the example of this, that is the with ethyl bromide. Now take the alkyl halide as a ethyl bromide and sodium methoxide, the another reagent. In this reaction, this NaBr get eliminated and directly this CH3CH2 get attached to this OCH3. Now this is the unsymmetrical ether. In this ether, this ethyl group is the larger group and methyl group is the smaller group. So the IUPAC name is done, given in such a way that the parent alkane is the larger alkyl group. So the name is methoxyethane, not ethoxymethane. The name of this ether is methoxyethane. Small alkyl group as the alkoxy group and large alkyl group as the parent alkane. So the name is the methoxyethane. It is also called as the ethyl methyl ether because this is the common name, and in ABCD or in alphabetically we give the name as the E comes first after M. M comes after and E comes first. So the name of this ether is ethyl methyl ether and sodium bromide as the byproduct. Let us see another example. Into that, always take the alkyl halide containing the smaller alkyl group and sodium alkoxide containing the higher alkyl group. Then the product form is the ether. Now how that happened? Let us see. Now see what happened if we use primary alkyl halide and sodium salt, that is the sodium alkoxide of tertiary alkyl group, such as sodium tertiary butoxide I use here. This is the sodium tertiary butoxide, CH3 3CONA, and the primary alkyl halide is the methyl bromide. Now this reaction, that is of the Williamson synthesis of ether, now this is carried out by the SN2 mechanism. Here there is the backside attack on this alkyl group of the alkyl halide. Now here is the methyl group. There is backside attack of this alkoxide ion, and this alkoxide ion is the tertiary butoxide. When it attacks on this side, backside attack, at the same time this bromine get, that is leaving group, as the leaving group they get detached, and this sodium and this bromine from the sodium bromide, and here this alkoxide get attached to this methyl group, and there is formation of this ether, that is the tertiary butyl methyl ether is formed here. Now this followed the SN2 mechanism. But if opposite is the case, suppose we use the tertiary alkyl halide. If we use the tertiary alkyl halide in this way here, tertiary butyl chloride. Now this is the tertiary alkyl halide, CH3, 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 and this get attached to the chlorine. This is the tertiary alkyl halide, that is the tertiary butyl chloride. And if we use the sodium alkoxide having the primary alkyl group, such as in this way, this is sodium ethoxide. I only that is change this that is the sodium alkoxide as the primary alkyl halide containing, and here sodium alkoxide having the alkyl group as the tertiary group, and here the alkyl halide, tertiary alkyl halide, here the alkyl halide is the primary alkyl halide. Suppose in this way in this type of reagents are there, then what happened? That is, instead of formation of ether, they form the alkene. How that happened? Now this hydrogen, one of these CH3 groups hydrogen give here double bond, at the same time this chlorine get eliminated. Now this chlorine and this sodium of the alkoxide forms the NaCl, and here is the double bond, that means CH2 double bond CH3 CH3. This is the isobutene, or it is also called as, if we number from this double bond as the 1, 2 and 3, any 3 were at the upper side or at the lower side, we can give the number 3. Now this is the 2-methyl 1-propene or 2-methyl propane. That is the alkene. It is also called as the isobutene. And this OC2H5 get reacts with this hydrogen, and there is formation of C2H5OH, because this hydrogen eliminated here as a H plus ion, this Cl minus ion reacts with this sodium, that is the NaCl, and this H get attached here. There is formation of this byproduct alcohol and the alkene. So for the formation of ethers, the sodium alkoxide must contain the tertiary alkyl group or secondary alkyl group, but the alkyl halide must have only the primary alkyl group, and then there is the possibility of formation of ether. Let us see this problem. What is given in this problem? Isopropyl ether does not form on reaction with sodium ethoxide and isopropyl chloride. That means here the alkoxide is the sodium ethoxide, and this alkyl halide is the secondary alkyl halide is here. So they say that the ethyl isopropyl ether does not form because this alkyl halide contain the secondary alkyl halide group. We must have to form the ether, the alkyl halide must contain the primary alkyl group. But here is the secondary alkyl group in the alkyl halide. So they said that the ethyl isopropyl ether does not form. Instead of that, what is formed in there? There must be alkene form. They said that, but the product is the propene. Now for formation of ether, what is there? So for formation of ether, here must be isopropyl, that is sodium isopropoxide, that is the alkoxide must be secondary alkyl group containing, and that is the alkyl halide must have the only ethyl chloride. Then there is formation of, that is the ether. Now see these both reactions. In first reaction, this is the second reaction. For first reaction, here the sodium alkoxide, that is containing primary alkyl group, and this alkyl halide contain the secondary alkyl group. So as it contains secondary alkyl group, there must be formation of the alkene. So the alkyl form is, suppose here is the CH2 and H get separate. Now this give here bond and this chlorine get detached. Here is this CH2 double bond CH2 double bond CH2 double bond, this double bond, then this CH and this CH3. It can be written in this way also. Okay. Now this can be written in this way also. This CH2 double bond CH3 plus NaCl. Now Cl, this NaCl is formed. Now it get eliminated and this O is directly attract this H and there is formation of C2H5OH as the byproduct, and this is the propene alkene. So what is the reason why propene is obtained? Because we use here the alkyl halide, that is the secondary alkyl halide. For ether there must be primary alkyl halide and this alkoxide ion must be secondary or tertiary, but here alkoxide ion is primary. The alkoxide ion have the primary alkyl halide. Now if we just change the reactants in this way, that is if we use the secondary sodium secondary propoxide and ethyl chloride, then here ethers are obtained. Now there is directly this Na and Cl from the byproduct NaCl and this CH3 attaches to this C2H5 and ether is obtained. Name of this ether is the, what is? This is ethog-G. Small group is the ethyl group, so ethog-G, and this is 1, 2, 3, numbering from 1, 2, 3. So this is the 2-ethog-G propane. In this way the IUPAC name is given for the ethane. Why 2? Because this ethog-G group is at the second carbon end. So it is the 2-ethog-G and propane. We give the ethers the name as the ether as the alkoxy alkane in IUPAC system. So this is the 2-ethog-G propane, that is the ether. In this way, this is the SN2 mechanism having reaction, and remember that for formation of ether, the alkoxide must be, sodium alkoxide must be contain secondary or tertiary alkyl group, and alkyl halide must have the primary alkyl group. Now let us study the physical properties of ethers. First physical property is physical state and boiling points. Now the lower ethers such as diethyl ether, ethyl methyl ethers, these are the gases state, in the gas state. But the other ethers are colorless liquids with the pleasant odor. Ethers have the pleasant odor. Then secondly, the lower ethers such as diethyl ether, ethyl methyl ether or dimethyl ether are highly volatile liquids. They can vaporize at room temperature also. That means they are volatile, vaporize at room temperature. And they are highly inflammable substances. Remember that. Though these ethers are highly volatile, but they are the inflammable substances. Now, as the molecular mass of these ethers increases, then boiling point of the ethers are also increases. As the molecular mass increases, boiling points of the ether increases. That means lower ethers have less boiling point, but the higher ethers have the more boiling points. About the solubility. Now these ethers are somewhat, they act as that of the there is some polarity, or they have some dipole moment. For example, diethyl ether have the dipole moment about 1.18 dipole. Now suppose this is the general formula of ether, RO, R dash or R. So this bond angle ROR is of 110 bending, not 180. So there is somewhat, that is the dipole moment, net dipole moment is there. But the dipole moment is very weak. So due to the weak dipole moment, the boiling points of ethers are similarly as that of their corresponding alkanes. Corresponding alkanes have the same boiling point as that of the ethers due to the weak dipole moment. These alkanes, if we compare the solubility of alkanes and ethers and alkanes both do not have the intermolecular hydrogen bonding or intramolecular hydrogen bonding. But alkanes are insoluble in water, but ethers are soluble. Why? Give reason. Why ethers are soluble in water? Though ethers do not have the intermolecular hydrogen bonding in itself, in its molecule, but it can form the intermolecular hydrogen bonding with that of the water molecules in this way. Now this is the ether, ROR. Now oxygen have the partially negative charge and this is water molecule, HOH. Here this hydrogen have the partially positive charge. So if we dissolve these ethers in water, what happens? Ethers are soluble because they form the hydrogen bonding between these oxygen of the ether and hydrogen of water. And due to the formation of such hydrogen bonding, ethers are soluble in water. But alkanes are not soluble in water because alkanes do not form the such type of intermolecular hydrogen bonding with that of the water molecules. That is the reason. That is why the both alkanes and ethers do not form the intermolecular hydrogen bonding between themselves. But ethers, due to the oxygen, can form hydrogen bonding with that of the water. So ethers are soluble in water, but alkanes are not soluble in water. These are the physical properties. If you like, you can subscribe, you can share this video. Thank you.